Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. So, today I would like to discuss on science and technology, and it is extremely important subject for UPSC as well as state PCS examination, right? And this is also a scoring subject and a high score to a score in UPSC examination. Definitely, if you realize or analysis PYQ, you will see uh, uh, maximum question will come from these portions, especially in this section. There are many sections, okay, and biology, physics, chemistry, okay. And if we talk among three subjects, then biology is much more scoring, okay. So we will emphasis according to the scoring, or we can say number of questions come in the examination. So in this section I will cover biology, biotechnology, health, like disease and vaccines all, okay, and some basics of chemistry, nuclear energy, basics of physics, and space technology, defense technology, right, and information and communication technology, that is ICT, and emerging technology also, and something which is frequently in the news, okay. I'll cover that also, okay. So do not be much more panic, and be calm and be cool, okay, because this is the long journey. UPSC preparation or any state PCS preparation is a long journey. So you must have patience, you must have perseverance, and you must have uh, uh, dedication, right? So along with this, definitely you must be disciplined also. So these are the things which you have to keep in your mind, and then meanwhile preparation, right? And so let us start. And one more thing I would like to suggest you, please avoid some unnecessary thing meanwhile preparation, because this is the journey, or this is the path in which you have to avoid something, and which is crucial step for your life, okay. So this is most important, because your life will be according to your decision. So it depends upon you, what in what direction you want to go, right? Many things will happen in your life, or many things will come in front of you, but you have to avoid that things, okay. So such avoidance in your mind must be there, because something will hamper your performance, and those elements definitely you should avoid, okay. Then you will go on the right path, right? So let us start the lecture. So in this lecture I will discuss some biology portion, okay. So in this I will firstly I would like to cover cell structure, right? So this is extremely important chapter, and in this we will study the structure of the cell, a structure of cell, right? A structure of cell. Second thing, cell organelles, plasma membrane, cell wall, cytoplasm, nucleoid or nucleus, ribosome, right? uh, Mitochondria, right? Endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosome, vacuoles, uh, plastids, okay, stem cells, classification of organisms, five kingdom, classification of plant, classification and division of cell and cell cycle, chromosomes of the inheritance, right, and molecular basis of inheritance. So all these topics are important, and from where you will see many questions, right? So let us start from structure of the cell. So this is a structure of cell, and Robert Hooke was a scientist who discovered, or we can say, coined the term cell in 1665, and Robert Brown was the scientist who discovered nucleus in 1831. In 1831, right? 1831. So this is a factual thing, and you have to remember it, okay? Because sometime in PCS examination or one day examination you will see such type of question, right? So Seddon, that is 1831, 1838, and Swan 1839, he present the cell theory, okay? And according to that cell theory, okay, the plants and animals are composed of cells, and that the cell is the basic unit of life. So this is the cell theory, okay? Now move to cell. So what is cell? What do you mean by cell? So cell is the fundamental structural and functional unit of all living organisms, right? And according to the postulates of the cell theory, so cell is what gives everything life and is capable of performing all the essential tasks of an organism, right? So a cell may duplicate itself on its own. As a result, they are referred to as the foundation of life, right? And the cytoplasm, or you can say fluid found inside every cell, is surrounded by membrane, right? And the substances like protein, nucleic acid, and lipids all are found in the cytoplasm, right? And in addition, cell organelles are suspended in the cytoplasm of the cell, right? Cytoplasm of the cell. So cells are complex, and their constituent where serves as a variety of tasks in organisms. Similarly, for constructing the bricks, they come in variety of size and shapes in the building, right? So in living organisms, okay, and especially living organisms are made up of cell of different shapes and size. So it gives a structure of the body and convert nutrients into energy. So it converts into nutrients into energy, right? So this is important. Now we understand human, okay, human cell anatomy, right? Cell anatomy. So in this we will see, so here you can see the diagram, okay? So in this diagram you will see here, this is mitochondria, right? And this is plasma membrane, right? And this is microtubule, and this is centrosome, and this is microfilament, and this is lysosome, and this one is a smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and this is secretory vesicle, and here you will see this is peroxisome, right? Peroxisome, and this is vacuole, and this is cytoplasm, and this one is Golgi vesicle, and this one is Golgi apparatus, and this one is chromatin, and this one is nucleolus, right? And this is nucleus, okay? And this is rough endoplasmic reticulum, and these are the ribosomes. So these are the ribosomes. So you are you are seeing this. So these are the ribosomes, and this one is intermediate filament, right? So from this diagram you can see the human cell anatomy, and see in similar way there are something which is important, right? So now I will discuss the types of cell. Types of cell. So types of cell, right? First, cell and thus organisms can be categorized either eukaryotic and prokaryotic depending on, first thing is eukaryotic, second one is prokaryotic. Prokaryotic, eukaryotic and prokaryotic, right? Prokaryotic. So these are the classification, and it is on the basis of whether they include or lack of membrane bound nucleus or other organelles. So on the basis of nucleus, in one that is present, or in another that is lacking, or you can say absent, right? So this is all about types of cell, right? And if we talk about prokaryotic cell, so what is prokaryotic cell? So prokaryotic cells are those cells which are without membrane bound nucleus, and prokaryotic cells are single celled microorganisms, and that are thought to be the oldest on the planet, right? And bacteria, blue green algae, cytoplasm, mycoplasm, PPLO, that is pneumonia like organisms, all are the examples of prokaryotic cell. All are the prokaryotic cell. Is it clear? So these are the prokaryotic cells. Now they typically have a smaller size and reproduce more quickly. Okay, they could have a wide range of size and shapes, and with the exceptions of mycoplasm, prokaryotics have a cell wall of that surrounds the cell membrane. Okay, a prokaryotic cell has a single membrane. All reactions take place in the cytoplasm, right? So no distinct nucleus is present, and the genetic material is essential naked because it is not surrounded by the nuclear membrane, right? And the genetic material is contained on a single chromosome. So lysosome, chloroplast, Golgi body, and mitochondria are not present in prokaryotic. Okay, so ribosomes are connected to the cell's plasma membrane in the prokaryotic, and responsible for protein, right, synthesis. So the cell wall determines the shape of the cell and provides a strong structure supports to prokaryotes, and to prevent the bacterium from outbursting. Okay, outbursting, or you can say or collapsing, right? So prokaryotes are distinct by a specific type of differentiated cell membrane called mesosome. So in essence they are infolding of the cell membrane, right? And the term capsule refers to the outer protective layer that bacteria have in addition to their cell, and walls it aid in the retention of moisture, guards against cell engulfment, and aids in the cleansing, right? And of cells to surface and nutrients, right? So prokaryotic cells store extra materials as inclusion body in the cytoplasm. Now that is the phosphate granules and cytoplasm granules, and glycogen granules are a few examples of those that are not bound by the member systems and are found floating freely in the cytoplasm, right? Cytoplasm, right? So the reproduce asexually through binary fissions, and further membrane expansions into the cytoplasm called the chromatophores, which contain pigments, are seen in some prokaryotic such as the cyanobacteria. Now, talking about eukaryotic cell, right? So eukaryotic cell, you can say over here. So eukaryotic cell have a well organized nucleus surrounded by nuclear envelope. Protist, plant, animals, and fungi are all considered to be eukaryotes, right? Protist, plant, animals, and fungi all are considered to be eukaryotes, and the existence of membrane-bound organelles result in considerable compartmentalization of the cytoplasm in eukaryotic cell. Now, eukaryotic cell features a wide range of intricate cytoskeleton and locomotory structure. Now, the genetic material in their body is organized into chromosomes. Now, not every eukaryotic cell is the same. Plant cells differ from animal cell in that they have a cell wall, plastid and fungi, and central vacuoles, right, which are all absent in animal cell, right? So they can reproduce asexually or sexually. A process known as the mitosis divides the cell. So for division of cell, there will be mitosis process. Okay. Now we will discuss the difference between prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. So prokaryotic cell are exclusively unicellular, but eukaryotic are unicellular or multicellular in nature. Okay, so prokaryotic typically range of cell diameter is between 0.2 to 2.0 micrometer. In eukaryotic cell, it is around 10 to 100 micrometer, right? So in cell wall, if we talk about cell wall, so in prokaryotic cell, cell wall which was complex and multifaceted, right? And in the same eukaryotic cell walls are extremely rare in eukaryotic cell, and when they do not do exist, they are of the simple chemical nature, right? And cytoplasm, so cytoplasm is found in prokaryotic cell but is absent from the majority of cell organelles. Now in eukaryotic it is made up of both cytoplasm and or organelles in eukaryotic cell, right? So nucleus, so in prokaryotic cells the actual nucleus is lacking, instead of nucleus are present, right? And in prokaryotic, also eukaryotic, it has a real nucleus. So in case of ribosome, so in prokaryotic there are ribosomes, but they are tiny and spherical in shape. In eukaryotic, although ribosomes are present, they have a large and linear form, right? So if we talk about DNA arrangement, so DNA is a structure in circular patterns in prokaryotic, and DNA has a linear structure in eukaryotic, right? And if we talk mitochondria, so there are no mitochondria in prokaryotic cell, right? And if in case of eukaryotic, so that are present, which is cells powerhouse. Okay, so cells powerhouse, right? So lysosome, or we can say endoplasmic reticulum, or we can say centromeres. So there are no lysosome, endoplasmic reticulum, or centromeres. So lysosome, centromeres, and the endoplasmic reticulum are all present. Okay, and plasmids. So in prokaryotic, plasmids are typically present, and in eukaryotic, plasmids are extremely rare in eukaryotic cell, right? So if cell division, so in prokaryotic cell, binary fission is method used in the cell division, but in eukaryotic, mitosis is process for cell division, right? And in prokaryotic, flagella are tiny in size, and in case of eukaryotic, flagella are present, right? Now reproduction, only asexual reproduction takes place in the prokaryotic cell, right? But in case of eukaryotic cell, reproduction is asexual as well as sexual. So in case of eukaryotic cell, there may be chances of both sexual as well as asexual reproduction, right? So if for example, bacteria or archaea, that is in a prokaryotic cell, right? And in eukaryotic cell, you can consider example like plants and animals. So in plants and animals, both reproduction as well as reproduction takes place by asexual or as well as sexual method. Okay, so these are the difference between eukaryotics and prokaryotic cell. Eukaryotic, difference of eukaryotic and prokaryotic. Eukaryotic and prokaryotic, right? Prokaryotic cell. So these are the difference. Is it clear? Now next, cell organelles. So say in cell organelles is a subcellular structure that, like an organ in the body, has one or more specific tasks to carry out within the cell. The nucleus, mitochondria, and ribosomes are a few of the more significant cell organelles, right? And these cell organelles comprise both the membranes and non-membranes bound organelles that exist within cells and have diverse shapes and functions. They collaborate effectively and work together to support the cell's normal operation. The cell has a variety of organelles that are divided into three groups, that is based on whether or not they have a membrane, right? So organelles without membrane, non-membrane bound cell organelles include the cell wall, okay, ribosomes and cytoskeleton. They can be found in both eukaryotic and prokaryotic cell. Now organelles with a single membrane bound, vacuole, lysosome, Golgi apparatus, and endoplasmic reticulum are single membrane bound organelles, right? So double membrane bound organelles, the nucleus, mitochondria, and chloroplast, which are double membrane bound organelles which are present in the eukaryotic cell, right? So now let's move to the plasma membrane. So plasma membrane, is another name for the cell membrane. So cell's plasma membrane is the outermost layer and separating its interior from the outside world. And the cell membrane is made up of lipid organoid in a bilayer, you can say. The membrane's lipid component is primarily composed of phosphoglyceride, and the movement of molecules through the plasma membrane is one of its key activity. Now the membrane is selectively permeable. Membrane is permeable, right? And okay, and neutral solutes can pass across the membrane through the process of simple diffusion, okay, and down the concentration gradient or from the higher concentration to a lower concentration, right? Now we will talk about the endocytosis. What do you mean by endocytosis? Cytosis, right? So what is endocytosis? So endocytosis is the plasma membrane which is flexible and made up of organic molecules, that lipids and proteins, right? And the flexibility of cell membrane also enables the cell to engulf in food and other material from its external environment. Such processes are known as the endocytosis, and endo means internal, cyto means of cell, okay, and amoeba acquires its food through the such process, endocytosis, right? Endocytosis, that is amoeba. Endocytosis, example you can take amoeba, right? So this is important. Now diffusion. So what is diffusion? So diffusion, plasma membrane is selectively permeable membrane, and the plasma membrane is porous and allows the movement of substances or material both the inward and outward, right? Now substance like carbon dioxide or oxygen can move across the cell membrane by process called diffusion. So a spontaneous movement of a substance from region of high concentration, that is hypertonic solution, to a region where its concentration is low, hypotonic solution. So thus diffusion plays an important role in gaseous exchange between the cells as well as the cell and its external environment. So next one is osmosis. Now, osmosis, what do you mean by osmosis? Osmosis, what is osmosis? So osmosis, रूम खुला हुआ है अभी? अच्छा ठीक है. So osmosis, what do you mean by osmosis? So osmosis, water also obeys the law of diffusion. Law of diffusion. So according to law of diffusion, the movement of water molecules through the selective permeable, right, membrane is called as osmosis. So osmosis is the passes of water from region of high water concentration through the semi-permeable membrane, right, and a region of low water concentration, and the osmosis is a special case of diffusion also. So selective permeable membrane are there, okay. So in unicellular fresh water, or you can say organisms, and most plant cells tend to gain water through osmosis, and absorptions are there. So of water by plants roots is also an example of osmosis. So in case of diffusion, it is important to in exchange of gases and water in the life of a cell. So in addition to this, the cell also obtain nutrition from its environment, right? So this is all about osmosis, and I will discuss next thing in next class, okay. So that will be the reverse osmosis, RO, or many more like cell wall, plasmolysis, and cytoplasm, and nucleides or nucleus. So all will I'll discuss tomorrow, right? So till now, thank you so much, and good night to all.